Building wealth usually starts with a simple brute force directive: slash your spending to the bone to build an emergency fund. Personal finance figures like Dave Ramsey advocate living far below your means, making intense, uncomfortable sacrifices today so you can secure financial freedom tomorrow. But treating your life like a math problem ignores a critical variable: humans get tired. Strict financial lockdowns eventually cause psychological fatigue. As author Morgan Housel points out, people are not spreadsheets. Attempting to be coldly rational with every penny often fails, whereas aiming to be simply reasonable is a strategy you can actually sustain for decades. Extreme frugality works perfectly as a short-term sprint for a beginner, but applying that same brutal intensity year after year leads to burnout, causing the entire financial plan to collapse. This brings us to the trap of the false economy. This is a choice that saves you a few dollars out of pocket today, but secretly creates a massive deficit in your time, your health, or your future earning potential. This graph plots wealth growth against expense cutting. Early budget cuts are easy and effective, but pushing further right, you hit a steep drop-off. In this red zone, hyper-optimizing tiny expenses costs you three things: your time, your health, and your potential. Real optimization means stepping back and calculating the true return on investment of your resources. The final price on a receipt is only a fraction of what you actually paid. The most common trap is trading high-value hours for low-value discounts. Many shoppers will buy an item they never intended to purchase, spending 100% of the item's cost simply because a bright sign offered a 30% discount. That is spending, not saving. Perhaps the clearest example of this trap is the endless gas station hunt. Drivers will routinely cross town, passing multiple stations just to find fuel that is a few cents cheaper per liter. Let's run the math. Filling a standard 40-liter tank at a station that's 6 cents cheaper saves exactly $2.40. To get that, you burned 45 minutes of your lifespan and added unnecessary wear and tear to your car. There is also a severe hidden risk. Abnormally cheap fuel is frequently mixed with lower-grade additives. A few bad tanks destroy a fuel injector, leaving you with a massive repair bill that wipes out years of accumulated savings in an afternoon. Willingly trading your time and taking on massive mechanical risk to save $2 is a mathematical loss disguised as a financial victory. Buyers frequently confuse the upfront sticker price with the actual cost to own an item over its lifespan. This table compares the cost per use of two shirts. A $30 low-quality shirt that shrinks and falls apart after 2 months costs $15 a month to wear. A $50 durable shirt lasting 3 years costs only $1.38 a month. If you have a very low income, you might not have the cash flow to cover a higher upfront cost. But the strategy isn't to buy luxury brands. It is to avoid pure junk that forces you to buy the exact same item twice. This logic scales to major assets. Holding on to a 30-year-old vehicle or a failing refrigerator ruining groceries, believing they're saving by avoiding replacement. In reality, the constant drip of monthly repair fees, spoiled food, and mechanical stress rapidly overtakes the cost of simply buying a reliable, used replacement. Trying to hoard cash by relying on rapidly decaying assets creates a perpetual, unpredictable drain on your monthly income. It keeps you treading water. The most dangerous false economy involves your own body. Sacrificing physical health and preventative care to keep a few extra dollars in the bank guarantees a catastrophic expense later. Skipping an annual preventative dental cleaning saves a small amount up front, but it virtually ensures you will eventually face the agonizing pain and the massive financial blow of an emergency root canal. The same rule applies to daily nutrition. Replacing foundational foods like rice and beans with cheap, ultra-processed junk starves your system of necessary fuel. Cutting back on expensive restaurant meals is a smart budget move, but stripping your body of basic nutrients destroys the daily energy and focus you need to perform at your job and actually grow your wealth. It is exactly like vehicle maintenance. Steeping a $30 oil change absolutely guarantees a wealth-destroying engine failure down the road. Ignoring the preventative maintenance on your body or your essential tools transforms small, easily managed expenses into massive, unavoidable financial emergencies. The final false economy places a hard ceiling on your growth. This happens when you view professional development, books and courses strictly as discretionary expenses to be eliminated. There is a mathematical limit to frugality. A worker earning minimum wage who optimizes every single penny might only save $100 a month. That hits a hard ceiling of roughly a 7% savings rate. By contrast, a worker who acquires high-value skills can increase their income, easily saving 20% of their earnings while simultaneously enjoying a much higher quality of life. The Roman philosopher Seneca noted that luck is simply what happens when capacity meets opportunity. Higher skills create the capacity necessary for massive income leaps. Aggressively cutting your budget for human capital permanently locks you out of the most powerful wealth-building lever in existence, the ability to generate more income. This quadrant chart evaluates whether a budget cut is a legitimate strategy or a false economy. Up here is the ideal zone, high-impact, low-effort actions like automating investments. Down here is the false economy zone, high-effort, low-impact actions like driving to find cheap gas. If you are a beginner on a tight budget, be ruthless about cutting lifestyle inflation and expensive delivery apps, but protect your basic nutrition and the durable goods you use every day at all costs. True financial optimization requires running every single decision through this matrix to ensure you aren't trading your most valuable assets, your time and your health, for pocket change. If you already have your basic expenses under control, stop acting like a paranoid penny pincher. Shift your focus away from cutting the bottom line and direct that energy toward expanding the top line. Buying educational books, taking professional courses, and paying for reliable equipment are not wasted expenses. They are vital investments that buy back your precious time. The ultimate goal of financial education is never to build a high score in a spreadsheet. It is strictly to purchase freedom, security, and peace of mind. Chasing false economies until you are stressed, exhausted, and ill entirely defeats the purpose of building wealth in the first place.